Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Pitch 10.0. When we started this in April 2014, I don't think I could have imagined that we are quite where we are today. And I would just like to say thank you to Her Majesty for letting us move from St James's Palace to Buckingham Palace for this event only. At the moment. Now, I think some of you may have been at the original event, and at that original event, I surprised some people by turning around and taking a selfie. Well, today I've got another surprise for you, and it was slightly presaged in that interview. On your chairs, there is a card that you have sat on. It's a little card, and it looks like that. All right? Once you have got that card, you are then to take your telephone and its camera, and you take the app, and it will tell you to go to, there's a point on the thing, and it says augmented royalty. And if you are so inclined, you may now place the card under the mobile phone like that, and you may now watch me in augmented reality, which means that I can shut up for a couple of moments whilst you do it. And so I'd be really interested if I go 1, 2, 3 now, because then if you all do it at the same time, we might all hear it, but if you do it at different times, it will be an absolute cacophony of disaster. Has everybody managed to watch it yet? Yeah, so there you are. There's 1 or 2 people have got it. Actually, better still. It's the photograph of you lot doing this is actually even funnier than me giving a speech. It is actually described. There I am. You can see me on the big screen here in augmented royalty. Right. You may play with that at your leisure later on, but that was just to get you... if you haven't upgraded the app or updated the app, which went into the App Store 2 days ago, then you won't be able to... Somebody else has suddenly found it, yes. I can tell. Look, ladies and gentlemen, as I look back on the journey that was started only in 2014, I couldn't be more proud of the ambitions that we have, as it were, fulfilled, and more importantly, it's going to happen all evening now, isn't it? All the ambitious businesses. Yes, right. I should never have started this, should I? Amanda, this was your idea. But today, Pitch is a mutually supportive operating system for ambitious young businesses that are seeking to scale and to grow. And we are very firmly placed now in a part of the growth economy. The government is doing a great deal to encourage the start-up, but we need to keep that going and to help scale. Just a few statistics that I think might be interesting before we go too far this evening. We've had nearly 50,000 entrepreneurs that have applied to become part of what even the entrepreneurs are calling a clan, which is a pretty remarkable number of applicants. We've held just under 100 events, and we've heard more than 1,700 pitches in that time, and we have 687 alumni, and they have created for themselves just over, in fact, probably a bit more than 800 or so million pounds of economic activity into those businesses. This is the front row getting it bad now. Most importantly, we've created, as you've seen, over 3,000 jobs in that period of time. And the one that I am most surprised about is the fact that we're running at a 96.5% survival rate over that, what it was effectively 4.5, 5 years of activity, which I'm led to believe is unusual for a startup and a scale-up world, because venture is running at about less than 30%. So I'm pleased that we are able to make that sort of significant difference. As a part of that, I thought that it might be helpful to inform what we were going to do for the next stage of development of Pitch, to ask our friends at Cambridge Judge Business School to look at what lies behind some of these numbers. And actually, not only have you got in your bags an annual review, but you've also got the Cambridge Judge Business School report, which will give you a better understanding of what we have discovered. One of the things that we have is one of the highest birth rates of startups in the world, with, over the last 2 years or so, the running average of running around about 400,000 new startups. But it's clear that that's only part of the story. And the business school makes some interesting observations on the role that Pitch plays in enabling promising businesses to access the tools that they need to grow. And if they are to make an active contribution to the UK economy, Pitch is just one of a number of programs that helps, and we particularly do this through our, what I like to call, serendipitous connections. And that is where you are so important to this effect. The other thing is that we've been noticing, actually about 3 years ago, that the golden triangle of Oxford, Cambridge and London is a sort of nexus of where successful start and scaling businesses come from. And we thought that, being what we were doing was for the UK, that we would look further afield and we'd go into the regions. And we've been to Cardiff, Wrexham, Cornwall, Belfast, Huddersfield, Aberdeen, Sunderland and Oldham, and a number of places in between. And what the Business School report observes is that we increase the chance of entrepreneurs outside the Golden Triangle by their likelihood in receiving funding is increased by at least 17%, which is a pretty remarkable statistic, and I'm really pleased that we're able to reach so far and wide across the country, because it is seriously important that those people who have good ideas should get a hearing. And of course, the other thing is that we need to encourage people to think about the team and business process and the engineering of governance and running their businesses, not just having the idea, is equally important. And so we've been working on helping to build teams. And as a result of working with us, the likelihood of businesses here expanding their founding team with about at least 2 more people has increased by about 12% over the period of time that this report has been written. So all of you, thank you very much indeed for your part in this over the last 5 years. It has been incredibly important. So moving on to the here and now, we have 42 entrepreneurs that are here as part of the Pitch and Palace clan. They're all sequestered around the corner today, or at the back, ready to face this really important audience. Remember, my standard ask of the audience is to make one follow-up action with these wonderful opportunities that you will hear from these pitching businesses this evening. As usual, there are some who will pitch for 30 seconds, and there are some who will pitch for 3 minutes. And Mike will take us through how that is going to happen. The other aspect of this, of course, is that they've all been briefed this evening to remember that they have to get the message across to you, and they have to have an ask of you. But just remember, while you're listening, you will know somebody or something that you can do that will make a material difference to these businesses. It may have absolutely no bearing on their ask. So all I ask is that if you can make a connection, it is probably the single most important thing that you can do for these businesses. So without further ado, I will move aside. Mike's going to take over, and it's over to the event, and I will come back at the end with some results and thank yous. But in the meantime, thank you very much indeed for coming this evening. It is a bit cooler in here than St. James's Palace, and I hope it remains that way. We've done it for two reasons, one of which is that at this time of year, at this time of day, people tend to get a little bit low, so they might go to sleep. The banquettes are very comfortable. Don't get any ideas. There are people stationed around with small bits of chalk. And if they catch anybody asleep, there will be an X marked on your suit. Thank you very much indeed, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mike Butcher. I am the editor-at-large for TechCrunch, a breaking news website based out of San Francisco. And tonight I'm also the co-founder of Tech Vets, a new not-for-profit here in the UK with my co-founder Mark Milton, which is designed to get military veterans and service leavers into the technology industry and cybersecurity. I hope we have a great time this evening hearing from these entrepreneurs. I will just tell you how this will work. There will be a number of 3-minute pitches and a number of quick 30-second pitches from the entrepreneurs. This is the Palace where you can actually tweet, ladies and gentlemen. Tweet, Instagram. The hashtag is pitchatpalace, and you can @pitchatpalace. And I think that the Duke might need a few more followers on Twitter, so please @him, @the Duke of York, and say hello. When you are voting, you must have in order to vote, and it's very, very important, you must have the app to vote for your favorite entrepreneur. You can vote for 3 entrepreneurs on the app, and that will happen at the end of the process. And you can also use the app to connect with the other entrepreneurs and to help them on their journey. So without further ado, we are going to get the show on the road, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome in this section called Biotech and Medical Technology. We'll have our first 3-minute pitch from BioSure. Come on up.
Somebody has to go first. Good evening, everyone. I'm so excited and privileged to be here tonight. As excited and privileged as I am to work in the sector that we do, where we are saving people's lives and ending a global epidemic. So BioSure and our absolutely phenomenal team developed and launched the world's first HIV self-test. This is it here. It's incredibly easy to use. It uses a fraction of a drop of blood. The person gets their own easy-to-read result in 15 minutes. So it's like a pregnancy test. It has 1 line or 2 lines. And that's it, really, in a nutshell. It's incredibly accurate and easy to use. Now, when we launched, there was huge skepticism and anxiety about, would people want to self-test? Could they use our product? Could they refer into care? Would there be any social harms? And as part of our global scale-up, we've generated really robust evidence and data to allay those fears. And actually, we've proven quite the opposite. When you give someone the responsibility, the choice to take ownership of their status, they feel very empowered. And that changes behaviour and it gives people confidence to make different choices. The real game changer around HIV is the development in antiretroviral treatments. So now when someone's diagnosed, they can go onto a treatment regime, which is sometimes just 1 tablet a day, and the virus can be suppressed to undetectable levels. That means their health is protected, and most importantly, they can't pass it on. And this is the cornerstone for the UN's ambitious goals to eradicate HIV by the year 2030. So we have to get people to test, to get them on treatment. And this test reaches the people that other tests don't reach. So we have good buy-in at grassroots level. We know people do want to test. The problem we have is changing the perception in the gatekeepers, in the decision makers. So, for example, we can't get our product onto the shelf in Boots because they're worried what might happen. Public Health England have just cancelled a tender that they advertised. Of HIV warriors. Let people know how easy it is to know their status on their own terms, how important that is, how to change the conversation, and how to get people talking and thinking differently about HIV. Because together we can end this epidemic and create the world's first AIDS-free generation. Thank you.
Fantastic.
Look at that. Bang on.
There's going to be a moment, ladies and gentlemen, we're just going to wait for them to go off. It's going to be great. Let me just ask you quickly, we're just doing very small Q&As. How is it that you, as a startup, you've managed to do this self-test kit for HIV when some of the giant pharmaceutical companies seem not to have done?
It's astounding. I think it's just, sheer tenacity, loads of blood, sweat and tears. We are small and nimble and so determined. And we have a saying, when a door shuts, we'll climb through a window. And that's what we do across the world. We pinch ourselves, we're in this position. We're so lucky.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
BioSure. Next up, we'll now have in the biotech and... Oh, this happens. We all do this all the time. We rehearse it and they keep forgetting the battle. 30-second pitches now from 3 companies, GTN, Neurovalens, and Sentinel. Come on up, everybody. Round of applause.
Hi, everyone. We are GTN, and we are building generative tensorial networks, a quantum leap in drug discovery. With many of the world's most debilitating diseases still entirely undruggable, GTN may profoundly impact millions of lives around the world with the discovery of entirely novel and highly efficacious treatment. We would like to ask for an intro for GSK CEO, Emma Walmsley. Thank you very much.
Obesity affects 1/3 of our planet, and it costs us over $250 billion each year. Our technology, Modius, stimulates the areas of the brain that control appetite, fullness, and cravings. Results from over 10,000 users show greater performance than weight loss drugs, but without the nasty side effects. We are seeking medical device investors to help us launch our FDA-approved product in 2019. Thank you.
Royal Highness, on average, patients' vital signs are monitored only once every 8 hours in hospital and considerably less when discharged home. Deterioration is missed and people die. Sentinel is a medical-grade wearable vital signs monitor that continually detects deterioration every 2 minutes. Developed in conjunction with 5 academic university hospitals, we know Sentinel saves lives. Our ask is for some additional financial investment and a meeting with Matt Hancock. Thank you.
Next up, two 30-second pitches from cybersecurity companies, Data Signals and DynaRisk. Coming up.
Good evening, I'm Neville Roberts and this is Gary Maudsley. Data Signals is a cybersecurity software company with 2 products. Blue Mamba, a super safe, unhackable cloud storage product, and Pink Scorpion, a data privacy product that places data access in the hands of the individuals. Example of each, Blue Mamba, safe storage of all of your data on the iPhone or the iCloud. Pink Scorpion allows companies like Facebook to remain privacy law compliant. We'd like to meet Helen Dixon, the EU Data Commissioner, and Nick Clegg, former... Thank you.
Thank you. There were almost 1 billion fraud and cyber crimes committed around the world last year. Protecting yourself is hard. We make it easy. We've created the world's first personal cybersecurity score and report. Think credit score for cybersecurity. We work with banks and insurers to provide our technology to protect their clients. We'd like to speak to RBS and other financial services companies about how we can work to protect your clients online. Thank you.
I'm just going to make sure that everyone knows we're now into smart cities. 3-minute pitch from Stasha. Go for it.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. What a spectacular venue. I'm blown away. In fact, I'm leaving. Well, look, I'm Jacob. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Stasha, and we're building the world's largest urban storage network. What does that mean? Well, to explain, let me tell you our story. So a few years ago, I was studying at Oxford University with my co-founder, Anthony. And Anthony used to live very centrally in London between King's Cross and Euston, and so he always had people requesting to leave stuff at his house. On one occasion, it was me, and Anthony joked that he would have to charge me for storing my bags. But that joke was a light bulb moment, as we realized that storage in cities is a genuine problem. You check out early, and your flight's not till later. Or you're going to an event, and the venue won't let you bring your bags in. And at the time, the only solution to this problem were the station lockers, and there are not very many of them left, and they're really expensive. So we built our own simple solution. We knocked together a basic website where people could book to leave their stuff at shops and hotels. Why shops and hotels? Well, they have reliable opening hours, sometimes 24/7. They have CCTV, but most importantly, they are desperate for ancillary revenue streams because they're being squeezed by e-commerce and Airbnb. And the business model is really simple. It's demonstrated on the slide behind me. It's a split commission model. So that's the concept, but what have we achieved so far? Well, a few months after sort of tinkering with the prototype, we decided to write up for investment. So we cold emailed the CEO of Big Yellow Storage. We literally found his email on ceoemails.com. It's a free tip for all the executives in the room on how to reduce your spam, and a free tip for all the entrepreneurs on how to create more. Luckily for us, he didn't ignore us. He wrote back that he loved our vision, loved the idea, and he came on board as our first angel investor. Fast forward a year, and we expanded all across the UK, stored thousands of bags, and then we set our sights internationally. I'm proud to say that as of last week, we're live in over 80 cities worldwide. We've rolled out with Premier Inn to provide storage across their network of hotels. We won Expedia's inaugural travel startup competition. We've maintained a review score of 4.7 out of 5 in over 5,000 reviews. But best of all, we've stored our 125,000th bag with 0 claims on our insurance to date. So the model clearly works, but what I need help with now is raising awareness. We rely heavily on search, but what about the people who don't even think to Google when they have this problem and are simply stuck with their bags? To that end, we've been working on some exciting partnerships, and the best example is Interrail. They now promote us to all their customers, and we provide a discount on storage all across Europe. And we need to do more just like that. There are so many partners we could work with in travel, in tours, in events, in real estate even, and we could provide storage to their customers at a point of time when they really need it. And that's my ask, to connect us with anyone that we could potentially work with. I'd just like to take a moment at the end to reflect how exciting it is to be here tonight, pitching to all you guys when a few years ago we were just 2 guys storing bags in our flats. Let's end with some trumpets.
Stasha, wait. We're going to ask you something quickly. So it's like Airbnb for luggage or packages.
That's how TechCrunch did describe us once in an article, yeah.
We got it right then. And what's your big ask right now?
I guess it's introductions to partnerships, and to be honest, an introduction to Airbnb themselves would probably be the most fantastic one we could ask for.
I may have their phone number. Marvellous. Thank you so much, Stasha.
Thank you.
Next up, we're covering off all the major groups in technology this evening. Next up, we'll hear 30-second pitches in consumer technology and Internet of Things. We'll hear from Acquire, Beeline, Finego, Near Me Now, and Walk In. Coming up, everybody, let's keep it going.
Let's go. Retailers are desperately in need of more customer loyalty. It's no surprise given the current climate. But customers are also desperately in need of less plastic to fill up their wallets. We consider Acquire to be the solution. We are a B2B card-linked loyalty platform that enables retailers, banks, airlines, and restaurants to automatically reward their customers in real time just on their payment card spend, online or in-store. Or as we like to put it, we transform the existing payment card into the most simple loyalty card a customer will ever need.
More people riding bicycles is a great thing for the health of individuals, the health of our cities, the health of planet Earth. So why don't more people do it? Because they're scared. Cycling is seen as dangerous. Beeline's products use machine learning to provide routing that keeps cyclists safe, and it's already better than Google Maps. Now, we can develop this tech, but to have impact, it needs to be widely used. So my ask, please connect us with Will Norman, the Cycling and Walking Commissioner, so we can show how we can help. Thank you. Honk if you like bikes. They don't.
Finego is a community-driven marketplace for the UK's £1.4 billion angling industry. Uniquely, it combines locational content generated by anglers, such as catches, with product content from the manufacturers.
We bring a digital presence to local angling communities and the businesses that support them. We would like an introduction to any angling manufacturer or retailer who'd like to join us on this exciting journey.
If Britain's high streets are to remain at the centre of our community life, they will need to adapt. These are the words spoken by the Chancellor only last week. And this week, the Federation of Small Businesses recommended that independent businesses collated their efforts into one single digital solution. We are that solution. There is an immediate need for our platform. Therefore, we are seeking investment, further investment, influencers who can introduce us to bids and LEPs across the UK.
Thank you, Your Royal Highness. We're super excited to have 30 seconds as opposed to 3 minutes because we're in the time-saving business. And we're taking those 2.5 minutes and we're adding it to the 7.5 million minutes we've already saved diners this year, because walking queues for you at the busiest restaurants in town, so you don't have to.
We make restaurants on average 15% more revenue on days that they get queues. And 3 weeks ago, we were seating 11,000 people a week. Now it's 15,000 people a week. We want to meet the heads of the busiest restaurants around London because we are Uber for restaurants. Click a button, get a table, walk in.
We need to cycle through these entrepreneurs. Next up with a 3-minute pitch will be in educational technology, will be Verti, followed by 30-second pitches from Lyrica and 4 minutes. Coming up.
For health professionals, knowing how to perform under pressure can literally be a matter of life and death. My name's Alex. I'm a trauma and orthopedic surgeon by training. I also sold a company as a medical student and scaled an award-winning education company internationally in my spare time around my NHS commitments. I founded Verti as there's no way to reproduce the stress and emotion of real clinical practice and no way to scale work-based training. Now, as a doctor, I can tell you that the first time my skills were truly tested under pressure was the first time I encountered an unwell patient. Now, for all of you as potential unwell patients coming into hospital, how does that make you feel? Well, it's a massive patient safety concern and one of the biggest unmet challenges of our time, with medical error the third leading cause of death in Western hospital systems. There are 250,000 deaths in the US each year alone, costing providers upwards of $20 billion in payouts. Providers spend $2.7 billion on mandatory training for staff, with no way to reduce costs and no way to scale their education offering. In developing countries, access to high-quality, standardized training is limited both by geography and resources, such as the 47 countries of sub-Saharan Africa, where 11 don't have any access to medical training at all. Verti solves this enormous problem by using virtual and augmented reality technology, coupled with artificial intelligence, to transport users into difficult-to-access, realistic clinical environments and safely assess them under pressure, regardless of geographical boundaries, to improve performance and patient safety. To create this sci-fi tech, we have a world-class team, including a BAFTA-nominated Unity developer, a PhD in computer vision, and our CTO, who stood on this very stage 5 years ago with his video streaming company. Now, we were only founded last year, but in that short space of time, we built our technology, we raised money from Silicon Valley, and we became revenue generating with large enterprise customers on recurring 6-figure contracts in the UK, the US, and the Middle East. Customers including Cal Poly in California, who have upwards of 70,000 users, and we've even managed to sell into the NHS back home. Everything the platform does has been validated with evidence-based research, which we've won 5 major teaching awards. We have a health economics case showing an average saving of £300,000 per institution per year on the cost of training. And we were recently named in the top 10 VR healthcare companies on the planet by VR Bound, and just 2 weeks ago picked up the VR in Healthcare Award at the International VR Awards held here in London. Our ask today is, as we're scaling quickly beyond healthcare, we'd love to speak to anyone involved in training or education in retail or in high-performance sports teams. Thank you.
Sick. Fantastic, amazing product. But a few years ago, it was predicted that we would all be wandering around with smartphones in front of our faces, but it hasn't really happened, has it? What is it about your technology that is really the game changer in this space?
Yeah, it's a great question. So we spent a lot of time out in California last year speaking to customers. So our platform works on mobile devices alone, or when paired with the more expensive headsets. The computer vision algorithm works via the camera phone, and we can scale very, very quickly. So we can take on board those 70,000 students before people have to sell in any hardware.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Thank you. Next, we'll have 30-second pitches from Lyrica and 4 minutes.
Hello everyone, my name is Paul Custance. I'm the founder of Lyrica, and we're on a mission to engage the world in language learning through the power of music. And with our investment from Sony Music, we've developed a mobile app which teaches Spanish through superstars like Shakira and Enrique Iglesias. Next year, we'll be releasing our English version of the app, and therefore our ask is for an introduction to the Chief Executive of the British Council, Kieran Devane. Thank you.
Too many people die from sudden cardiac arrest every year. The simple reason is there are not enough people who know how to help. Glenn Hoddle was lucky. A sound engineer gave him CPR, but less than 5% of us are trained. With our mixed reality technology, we can learn to save a life in 4 minutes, and that experience will stay with you. It's cheaper, faster, and you don't need a certified instructor. Support us to bring this technology to schools and the workplace, and more lives can be saved.
We are looking to connect with educational authorities and also investors in EdTech.
Thank you.
Entrepreneurs trying to hack the system. Next section is energy, environmental and renewable technologies. Two 30-second pitches from H24E Innova and Zero Waste Biotech, then a longer pitch from Buckingham. Come on up.
Hi, we are H24E Innova. For a low-carbon society, hydrogen is essential, but it is still expensive and very complex. So we want to make it simple and realize on-site affordable hydrogen generation by our laser and photocatalyst. Hydrogen is used for electrified mobility or for energy storage, such as in Africa, for the space station and drones. Our ask is to raise additional £500,000 for our commercialization of our prototype. Thank you.
I want you to help me stop climate change. The world's economies have legislated that food waste must be treated as putting methane into the atmosphere, which is 84 times more harmful than CO2. Our machine turns food waste into clean renewable energy in 24 hours and can power hospitals and hotels by cutting their costs by up to a third. We're cutting climate change and we're cutting costs. We have upcoming contracts with the NHS and McDonald's, and we're asking for investment to help fulfill those. Thank you very much.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Peter Davis, founder and CEO of Buckingham Technologies. Yippee, I get a 3-minute pitch. The business specializes in innovative eco-packaging technology, which effectively replaces black plastic ready meal trays. This is one of the most genetic trays used in the industry sector today, and stats show that we purchase 7 billion ready meals in Europe alone. And out of that 7 billion, 3.5 billion are purchased in the UK. Now, I know what you're thinking. This guy's really good at maths. But what's the problem? Well, the black plastic, when it goes into the general waste facilities, it's not detected with the general waste. So what happens? It doesn't get recycled like any of the other plastics. So effectively, it goes to two places. First one, it goes to incineration, which, because it's a fossil fuel-based material, it gives off toxic gases into the atmosphere. Secondly, it can go to landfill, which then, obviously, it's polluting our landscapes. And the tonnage which goes into our landfill at this moment in time, it's catastrophic with regards to the tonnage involved. So the solution, Buckingham, over the past 10 years, have researched the machine technology and the product formulations to come up with a more eco-friendly alternative, which will replace the black plastic used today. Now, the product itself is totally recyclable and compostable. The recyclability allows it to achieve the circular economy requirements in the market today. We have traction with a major food manufacturer producing 300 ready meals in the UK and also a major food manufacturer in the UK. My ask today is for an introduction to eco-investors, allowing us to have a look at the possibilities of EI schemes and also joint venture partnerships with food manufacturers so that we can prove our technology, implement the machine technology into the UK with the traction we already have. Now, I would like everybody to become a part of what I call Biopaxium's Packaging to be Proud of revolution so that we can make a difference to our planet today. Thank you for listening.
It does, plastic has been, especially since the recent Blue Planet with Sir David Attenborough, plastic has been a huge conversation in the last year, hasn't it?
Man, yes.
It does seem incredible that this black plastic cannot be recycled. Surely you must be, manufacturers must be biting your hand off to get to this.
The amount of interest which we're gaining at this moment in time on the momentum, it's overwhelming.
Fantastic.
And it will, at the end of the day, it is a game changer.
And you're looking to raise money as well to back the company?
Very much so.
Fantastic. Well, congratulations.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Next, we'll next hear two sections, industrial technology and...
I knew it would happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Industrial technology, two 30-second pitches from Bear Conductive and Oxford Nanosystems, and then FinTech, 30 seconds from Wevat. So come on up. Let's go. Thank you.
Our paint technology can turn virtually any surface into a sensor device that can detect water, insects, or humans at an incredibly low cost. We're asking to meet companies that are ready to revolutionize their business operations through connected sensors and to meet investors who can help us grow faster. Please come and find me later. I'd love to tell you more and take you through some of the unique advantages of our sensor technology. Thank you very much.
Hi, at Oxford Nanosystems, we've developed NanoFlux, an innovative nanocoating technology that allows for significant improvements in heat transfer, allowing for massive improvements in energy efficiency for systems such as air conditioning and refrigeration. We're at the moment testing the technology out and are looking to diversify by looking into high-powered electronics cooling for data centers and as well as large-scale engineering systems. We'd like to be introduced to Google and also Megit if they are around. Thank you very much.
% of UK's GDP comes from tourism. Yet, the way we say goodbye to our highest spending visitors is by sending them into a big, long 2-hour queue at the airport so that they can get a refund, tax refund on their shopping. Brexit's coming, more tourists are arriving, we've got to do something about this. Wevat's app removes queues and delivers a royal tax-free shopping experience. Our ask is an introduction to major airlines like Emirates. Thank you.
Let's now have a 3-minute pitch from a Good Box. Coming up, Good Box, right.
Your Royal Highness, thank you. Hi, I'm Francesca Hodgson, and I'm co-founder of Goodbox. Goodbox is a technology company delivering an entire suite of digital fundraising tools to help non-profits drive successful fundraising campaigns in an ever-increasing cashless and regulatory society. Goodbox has 4 key focuses. Firstly, our hardware, unique to Goodbox, designed in the UK to replace alien charity cash buckets, but they're much more than that. With screens to drive engagement, our donation points can accept donations via contactless, Apple, Android Pay, chip and pin, QR, and effortlessly connect donors to great causes. We can provide digital receipts, and we're working on a pilot to automate gift aid. As an IoT-connected device, we have the ability to route charities across a single unit and launch emergency campaigns within minutes. Second, our software, a social impact social network, providing non-profits with vital fundraising analytics and providing donors with trust and transparency. Thirdly, payment and banking solutions, and fourthly, support and advice. We already work with some impressive household names: Natural History Museum, Tate Gallery, Great Ormond Street, Church of England, to name but a few. And in the case of one of our longest standing clients, we've already raised an additional $400,000 in income. Now to a museum, that's a new visitor centre or employment for 14 individuals for a year. That's not just small change, that is the start of real change. And with a pipeline of over 1,000 UK charities ready and waiting to work with us, including the top 10 largest, Good Box is on a scale and growth mission. We have demand from 11 countries around the world, making our global ambitions a reality. We've already raised 3.9 million in in investment to date, and we've just launched our next round for a further 5 million. Our ask, therefore, is to appeal to all investors in the room to come and talk to us. We've got a great deck to share with you. We'd also like to be a bit more creative. We want to get our donation points on Google and Apple Maps. Trust and transparency are key attributes to Good Box. So anybody in the room from Google or Apple that can help us make a real presence on these maps, please do come and talk to us. We've got an amazing opportunity around the corner. We're about to launch 100 donation points out across the capital to help Sadiq Khan support his winter campaign for rough sleeping. We're a phenomenal team. We've got incredible development talent, an amazing advisory board, and we're really proud to be part of 2 incredible accelerator programs. We can change the future of giving. We are Good Box. Thank you.
Fantastic. So just walk me through the user experience. I go up to one of your Good Box and I just tap with my card, what's displayed on the screen?
It's that simple. So if you are, depending on your cause, if you're, for example, Costa Foundation, they support 72 schools and they built 72 schools and coffee-growing communities, just make a simple tap on the unit and that's money remitted straight to the charity.
And please tell me you also attach it to something that I can still put a coin so it goes down the centre. Please, that's really what I love to do.
We can do more exciting things. Thank you.
Well done, Good Box. Thank you so much. Next up is On the Tools. 3-minute pitch from On the Tools. Come on up. Let's go. Come on, chaps. See you in a minute.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Lee Wilcox. I'm the co-founder and CEO of On the Tools. Thank you very much. I'm privileged to be here, and thank you very much for your time. So, like all great businesses, On the Tools was founded on a Friday evening over drinks. We had the ambitious idea of trying to connect the UK construction industry. Moved forward 4 years, and we've amassed over 3 billion views across our social channels. And through content creation and branded partnerships, we now stand as the largest construction community in the world with 2.7 million followers, predominantly in the UK, with our second and third biggest territories being the US and Australia. Our mission is to ensure that every single tradesperson has the same opportunities, privileges and perks as the white-collar world, for free, forever. So what's the problem? The problem is that the UK construction industry is hugely underserved. And as I stand here today, I'm sure we can all appreciate the white-collar perks that we all have access to. Things like annual leave, sick days, corporate perks, pensions. But the blue-collar world doesn't get that. And the stats back that up too. 65% of the UK construction industry is still in rented accommodation. 70% of them don't have a pension. 65% of them don't check their credit score. And it's an absolute travesty, and we want to change that, and that's where the opportunity lies. So what's the solution? The solution is a web, iOS and Android app that allows tradespeople to have that access to a free credit score and full report. We want them to have access to the best and most suitable available financial products in financial services. We want to make sure that we take them on a 5-year plan, of education, support and guidance. We want the biggest brands in the industry to give them the best deals every day. And we want to do that through live shows and gamification within the app. In 2018, On The Tools will reach a 1.2 million revenue with a 500,000 EBITDA. And as part of our growth into other territories and sectors like the US and Australia, we're currently seeking investment. My ask today is 3 connections. I'd like to be connected to Ellen Caulfield, who is the Managing Director of MBNA and Lloyds Group. I'd also like to be connected with Simon Jones, who is Director at Epic Games in the UK. And the third ask I have is a person called Keith Weed, who is the CMO of Unilever, which will allow us to instantly exercise more further media partnerships. I really want this to go off, so we'll go now.
It's like a badge of honor. Now, Little Bird told me you've been promoting this in a rather innovative manner. Something to do with Facebook?
We've created a few videos, yeah. We decided that we'd do... everything we've always done has been about video and being creative, so as soon as we had the opportunity to, we created a video that I myself starred in, which was great.
Sort of a live stream.
And we do live stream shows with Quidzin, which is all about making sure that tradespeople have money in their back pocket. For us, On The Tools is all about connecting construction. It is underserved, and we've got a huge opportunity to do that across the world.
Fantastic. Well, live stream with builders or Piers Morgan in the morning, I think it'd be you guys.
Yeah.
Right, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Fantastic. Thank you. So next we're going to have 30-second pitches from Encore musicians, grad touched and press pad in the media, communications and entertainment technology. Come on up. Let's go. Line up, guys. Line up.
Hi, I'm James and I'm the co-founder of Encore, a marketplace for booking outstanding musicians. Forbes described us as Airbnb for live music. We have the largest supply of musicians available in the UK. Our customers love the service and we're growing like wildfire. Every red dot on that map is a booking already made through Encore. We have an amazing offering for our corporate customers, and so I would love to be introduced to any hotels, venues, or people in the events industry that you know. Thank you very much.
This is the collective sum of debt in pounds that UK students leave university with each year in the UK. For too many of those students, this is becoming a bad investment when they enter the job market. GradTouch is a digital platform that ensures that all graduates can get a lasting fit from that first role. We would like to be introduced to Damien Hines, the Minister for Education, and Samuel Gmar, the Minister for Universities, to garner governmental and public sector support.
Jaffa is an award-winning digital sports platform, and it works in 2 ways. There's a mobile app for sports fans that takes all of the latest news and all of the latest fan opinion and personalizes it for them. And there's a console for brands and businesses which allows them to better understand, target and reach sports fans. In the last year, we've partnered up with some fantastic global brands such as Puma, Heineken and Betfair. And our ask today is we're looking for introductions and connections in the sports and media space, especially owners of Premier League football clubs. Thank you.
That's what I was waiting for. Kids know best. A statement I'm sure the majority of this room will disagree with. We are TripAdvisor for kids. Now, 30 seconds is not long enough for me to sell my dream to you guys. So, it is long enough for 3 asks. I'd like to meet the President of Disney UK, Rebecca Campbell, the UK Manager of Amazon, Doug Gurr, and the CEO of Niantic, John Hank. Thank you.
I'm Olivia Crellin, BBC journalist and founder of PressPad. We match out-of-London media interns with established professionals with a spare room in the capital for lodging and mentorship. You've heard it before, but we are Airbnb for interns. The Sutton Trust says that it costs £1,000 a month to do an unpaid internship in London. The social mobility benefits of PressPad are obvious. We want collaboration to launch a web portal so we can expand.
Next up, data management and analytics. Let's hear a 3-minute pitch from Vox Pop Me. Come on up.
All right, good evening all. Now, millions and millions in revenue is lost by brands every single year through launching poor products, not truly understanding their customer, or their customers having negative experiences. And the approaches from these brands is to launch more surveys. It's inherently broken. The way they communicate with their customers has to change. They want to understand scores. Even if they're not sure their customer has an opinion, they still want a score on it. So it's not surprising that we now live in this world where we've got huge amounts of data, but we really lack that story behind that customer. The why that they feel that way. Why do they not interact with your product? Why didn't they enjoy their experience? It's that's the really rich insight that truly allows a business to make change and make customer-centric decisions. So that's where Vox Pop Me comes in. I'm Tom Williams, co-founder at Vox Pop Me, and we focus on using video to really connect business leaders around the world with their customers. Actually able to see them interact with their products, hear their stories about their experiences, understand what they liked about the packaging but didn't like about the restaurant that they went to. Video is perfect for that story. Having that voice and being able to bring that customer into the boardroom and help make decisions. So we go about that by 3 simple steps. How do we go out there and capture video? So we connect brands with their global audiences and allow them to record selfie-style videos answering a series of questions that focus on that experience or the product that they're reviewing. But that's not the exciting bit. The exciting bit for us is how can we then use technology to truly make video a scalable solution? If everyone's bought into the emotive nature that we can kind of engage with those customers and see some raw footage, then great. But how do we make it usable and scalable for organizations that are already time poor? So that's where we focus on a technology background and how can we make video scalable. It gets automatically coded, so no one has to watch hours and hours of video footage anymore. Our platform reports them. What were the most prominent topics that people talked about in Germany versus France? What do they like when they talked about your packaging, or what do they dislike when they went into your restaurant and experienced an evening? The platform processes that automatically, both with theme coding and sentiment scoring, and then allows clients to socialize that throughout the business. I promise you, 90 seconds of seeing a customer interact with your product and see how they do that, what they like, what they dislike, is way more powerful than a 40-page PowerPoint deck with graphs and statistics. Now, it's been a hell of a journey for Vox Pop Me over the last 5 years. I would definitely call it a roller coaster. We've opened up offices across the US, Singapore, and Australia. We've grown revenues, but my big ask is we don't know everything, and there's definitely challenges that we've had along the way. So if there's somebody in this room who has grown scaled global sales teams, I'd love to hear from you and get your advice.
Right, Vox Pop Me, what's in it for me to do a video for you?
You'd be screened in based on you're passionate around that brand. So a lot of the time, people are happy recording videos. If you look at how much video is now socialized through Facebook, through Instagram, people want to tell their story. So a lot of the time, it's engaging because you shop at brand X and want to provide your feedback.
Right, right. But as a very poor journalist, am I going to get paid or something?
It varies. So you might get some discount codes, or you might get actual cold hard cash.
So
it depends what you're doing.
So it's discount codes and it's incentives like that?
Yes.
Right. Brilliant. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Cheers. Thank you all.
I shall be stockpiling my vouchers Next up, let's hear from robotics, artificial intelligence, and virtual reality 30-second pitches from AI Patient, Dialexi, and Woots Zano. Come on up. Line up, everybody.
Misdiagnosis contributes to 1 in 10 of all patient deaths. AI Patient improves the quality and accessibility of medical training. Through a voice interaction, we allow healthcare professionals to practice communicating with and diagnosing artificially intelligent digital patients. Our app is currently being used in medical schools and with NHS clinicians. And my ask today is for a meeting with Matt Hancock and to meet the CEO of Elsevier. Thanks very much.
Tanya and Isabella had to delay their wedding by 10 days. Sheila traveled 3 times to Spain before she could bury her husband. And Michael's business lost £50,000 in a customs hold-up. Traditional certified translations cause unnecessary and expensive delays. Using AI, Dialexi makes officially certified translations faster and accessible for everybody. We are looking for partners at universities, consulates, and the Home Office. Thank you very much.
I'm Atif Syed, founder and CEO of Wootsano Limited. At Wootsano, we make robots feel and sense like humans do with a novel electronic skill called Woodskin. Although we're into agri-tech industry, the possibilities of this technology is limitless. We ask for people in the audience if they have contacts within industrial robotic companies such as Stobly and KUKA. Join us in pushing this robotic revolution forward. Thank you.
And now let's hear in health and well-being, let's hear from Fresh Check, and then after that, from Mobiloo. 3 minutes.
So good evening, everyone, Your Royal Augmented Highness. My name's John, and I am from Fresh Check. So we are here to help confirm cleanliness. So right now, 1 in 4 abattoirs in the UK are breaching hygiene standards. And this shocking statistic is actually commonplace throughout the entire food supply chain. And the reason for it is that bacteria, for the most part, is invisible to the naked eye. There's no easy, simple method to see it there at the source and deal with it there, rather deal with the repercussions later. And that's where Fresh Check comes in. Fresh Check is a spray that will turn from blue to orange in the presence of a dangerous level of bacterial or chemical contamination to help let you know you're working to the highest level of hygiene standards. Right now, the market competitor is the ATP swab, but it has severe disadvantages. First of all, it's expensive at £2 a swab and £1,000 per reader, so many people can't even access it in the first place. It's also time-consuming, taking about a minute up to a day depending on the swab used. And finally, it requires a level of expertise that you actually need to be trained to actually use it correctly. What FreshCheck does is offer something which does the same thing at a fifth of the price at 40 pence a test. We're also quicker, being 30 seconds per test. And finally, most importantly, we are simple. Anyone can understand a color change. If it's blue, it's good. Any other color means you have an issue and you have to look at your hygiene protocols. So right now, to give a timeline of what FreshCheck has done, in April this year, we got some seed funding and we met some key milestones. We got an international PCT filed along with an EU-wide trademark to secure the IP. We've also worked with the 3rd largest food hygiene distributor, Christane's Food Hygiene. And actually, the last time I spoke, we had made the first sale that day. And now we've made 188 sales as of today. We sold to St. John's Ambulance, which was quite exciting. And finally, we've also managed to, something which is quite important to us, as the team itself is 3 chemistry PhD students, is we've managed to get the NSF to prove that we are food safe accredited, and also Camden BRI have compared us to the ATP swab and shown that we are as sensitive in bacterial detection, but at a fraction of the cost. So we have a real key market edge there. So what we're asking for today from His Royal Highness is contacts to the FSA, a new marketplace that we want to go to, as right now they need new tools and new skill sets to be able to better audit and train food markets and food process areas, and we have the tool for them to use. So also on top of that, a bit of a cheeky ask as well. We'd love to get back into the kitchens there, get a bit of a case study, just spray it down a bit and see what's going on. So thank you very much.
This is This is an amazing product for the commercial application. Is there a way that someone could use this around their house to check that their kitchen is clean?
Yeah, we have thought about doing a customer model, but at the moment we'd have to change the sensitivity because it's very sensitive, and we don't want people sort of doing a Lady Macbeth sort of unclean style, you know, washing their hands. But one day we'll get there. Yeah.
That's exactly what I thought of when I thought of this product. Marvellous. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Remember this?
Oh, sorry.
Okay. Next up, let's hear from Mobiloo, I think. Right, great.
Can everybody see me? Sorry, I'm only teasing. But for a guy that's regularly confused for a supermarket shopping trolley, you have to have a sense of humour. When you live in the world today, it's not constructed for people with disabilities. And my family and I would often go out for the day and experience a real problem where that plastic box in the screen behind me would be provided as a toilet facility. Designed by able-bodied people and a wheelchair stuck on the front, everybody thinks it's accessible. Only if you're disabled do you really know that they're unusable. It's like a guy designing a toilet for ladies and filling it full of urinals. It just doesn't work. So a group of us, all with disabilities, decided to design a solution. We made a concept model, which is the graphic that you can see. It's a vehicle that has a lift, a hoist that helps us lift out of the wheelchair, the toilet. It has hot and cold running water, and also a hospital bed, so that those people with disabilities and using incontinence products can get changed with dignity. We designed this because there are lots of festivals and outdoor activities that we would go to, and I don't know anybody that went to Glastonbury that never had a pint before, but that certainly wasn't me. And without those facilities, we simply had to starve ourselves of liquid. Families would go for maybe just 2 hours to an outside event and then have to turn around and go back home again because the person that they were with was literally suffering from dehydration. So we started to build these vehicles, and we quickly discovered that they're not just for people with wheelchairs, but people that have service animals, guide dogs for the blind. They didn't know what their animals were lying down in when they used those plastic tubs. And I'm sure you ladies know that us men are not accurate at the best of times. And when we've had a few to drink, believe me, it gets even worse. So we built these vehicles and started hiring them out. And families, 1.2 million families in the UK and Ireland are actually benefiting from our service. As you can see on the third slide, we are making a real difference to people's lives. Not just those with disabilities, but their families and friends as well, in benefiting their mental health. Families are enjoying themselves, going out and spending the whole day. Now, my ask would be to meet the CEO of Mercedes-Benz, of Live Nation, and also to be able to explain the benefit of Mobiloo to His Royal Highness the Duke of Sussex for the Invictus Games. Thank you. Okay.
Allow me to. So this is an incredible idea. It's fantastic. Let me ask you a practical question. How do you plan to sort of scale this? You said you want to talk to Mercedes, but I suppose you don't want to stop there.
No, well, it's actually self-scaling through social media.
Yeah.
As people are seeing it, they're requesting us to go to their countries, their locations, and right now we need 100% more capacity to deal with bookings just for 2019.
Right, so you've got more orders than you can deal with?
We certainly have, yeah, which is a nice problem to have, but disabled people always face problems and make solutions, and we will solve this problem too.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Cheers.
Mobiloo. And next up, some 30-second pitches in this Mendelian Neon Pocket and SciAps. Line up, everybody.
Rare diseases affect 350 million people in the world, and they are the hardest diseases to diagnose. In the UK, on average, it takes 8 years to diagnose a patient with a rare disease. At Pendelian, we have the solution, and we're streamlining the process of diagnosing rare disease patients. So the next step is to integrate into electronic medical records at a national level. So if you know anyone in the management of NHS or in other countries' healthcare systems, please come and talk to me. Thank you.
Did you know that every day 150 people who suffer from chronic pain will die from prescribed opioids? That's all of the people on this half of the room. However, immersive technologies are offering safe alternative solutions. Neon has made Breathe VR for people with pain. My ask, vote for Neon tonight and make Breathe VR a treatment of choice for people in pain. Thank you.
89% of stroke patients don't receive treatment today. This is due to the lack of fast stroke diagnosis. We are developing a portable blood test that can detect stroke in less than 20 minutes without mistake. Our mission is to save thousands, if not millions of people. We are looking for investment to match fund our Innovate UK grant. Thank you.
Robin Williams, Kate Spade, Alexander McQueen. Do these names evoke success or suicide? Mental illness costs the UK economy over $100 billion every year. 18 to 28-year-olds have the highest level of mental illness and the least treatment. But how do you engage them? You have to make it fun. My name is Leah Litvin. I'm a psychologist and founder of PsyCaps, a digital mental health game developing company. Our ask of you is introduction to the BBC Breakfast Show. Thank you very much. And 2 seconds, wow.
And now let's hear a 3-minute pitch from Ideabatic in the health section. Come on up.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Kitty, the founder of Ideabatic. I have 10 years' experience building cold systems, including for the Large Hadron Collider. In 2014, I took part in a humanitarian hackathon at CERN, where I realized there's a big problem. This is what I found out. According to the World Health Organization, 2 to 3 million children die each year of a vaccine-preventable disease. And 20 million still lack basic vaccinations. This is because vaccines are exposed to damaging temperatures in the last few miles of delivery, the so-called last mile. So what is a typical last mile journey? Health workers carry polystyrene boxes with ice packs in extreme weather. Bear in mind, the vaccines must be kept between 2 and 8 degrees. And these journeys can take 7 days. But current solutions only last for 10 hours. Consequently, up to 85% of the vaccines are spoiled. And this equates to at least $1 billion wasted every year. What if vaccines could be delivered to every child and the wastage reduced to less than 5%? Ideabatic's solution is SMILE, a smart last-mile vaccine cooling system. SMILE keeps vaccines in the right temperature range for 5 to 7 days without external power. So how does it work? I could tell you, but then I'd have to erase your memory. Just joking. Here we go. Our air-locking dispensing mechanism means you can put in and take out the vaccines repeatedly without compromising the coolness. and automatically closing door reduces human error and heat loss. Our clever thermal design, achieving the 5 to 7 day capacity, has been validated by the National Physical Laboratory. We also work with cold chain experts and help the WHO draft a new vaccine carrier standard, so we're likely to be one of the first to be qualified. They offered us a field trial when a product is ready. We are finalizing our design, raising funding for a field trial early next year. We would be grateful if His Royal Highness could introduce us to Dr. Tedros, the Director General of the WHO, the Gates Foundation, and governments in India and Pakistan. Please help Ideabatic reach every child, however difficult the journey is. Let's spread a smile across the world.
Stay there. So, wait. So let me just have a look at it. So one of the big questions, let me just try this out here. So, so basically it's like this. One of the problems, especially in emerging markets, is making this cheap enough to, I mean, how can you make it affordable for vaccines to be carried in emerging markets like this?
Yeah, so the reason why we started this is because we wanted to help, and so we are designing in the most simplistic way, but then also achieve what we wanted to avoid all the heat damaging and all the other temperature problems. And so we are able to make it affordable for the developing countries, and we have already talked to the WHO about this. And,
right.
Yeah, so.
Great. Well, I can certainly see me being extremely popular on the tube with this. Fantastic. Thanks very much, Ideabatic.
Thank you very much.
There you go.
Thank you.
And take this with you. Thank you very much. Quick 30-second pitch now. Third floor systems coming up.
There are over 2 million university students in the UK. 8 out of 10 experience mental health issues. 100 take their own lives every year. To address this, we built Student CRT, a web-based monitoring solution. It triangulates engagement data to identify at-risk students so we can follow up with them quickly. In use at the University of Manchester, it's having a big effect on student support. I'd like to meet the Suicide Prevention Minister and anyone who'd like to help us strategically. Thank you.
And now let's have a 3-minute pitch from Lily Pads coming up.
In rural Kenya today, 65% of women cannot afford sanitary products, leaving young girls with an impossible decision: to have sex with older men in exchange for them, or to drop out of school. I experienced this firsthand during my dissertation research and was determined to find a sustainable solution for these young women. When developing this, we thought of an entrepreneurial decision to develop a product in the UK where we could use the profit to make our products sustainable abroad. Over the last year in the UK, there has been a 400% increase in the amount of consumers looking for an environmentally sustainable product. Within the menstrual market, we're starting to see this with the growth of the menstrual cup. But for those using a reusable pad, they find them both uncomfortable and expensive. At Lily Pads, we developed a sustainable pad. Using all natural materials means that we can reduce the amount of environmental waste in manufacturing, we can cut the sanitary product waste by 99%, and with an innovative design, we can improve comfort. And we can do all of this for 25% cheaper than our current competitors. We're looking at 1.4 million women in the UK trying to reduce their environmental impact. Our new products should be released onto the market at the start of next year, but our product trial results have already been incredibly promising. We're going to be selling online, but are talking to Asda about selling in store too. But with this revenue from this product means in 2 years we will be able to expand out of Kenya and into another market. As a social enterprise, our impact is of tantamount important to us. In the UK, by using a reusable product, we can cut menstrual product waste, but also by manufacturing them here, we can create jobs. In Kenya, since February, we have expanded across 3 regions, training 32 women to deliver mental health education and sell pads. We're now in contact with 4 organisations to establish partnerships and expand us further. But for every one of the girls that we work with, we know this pad stops them using transactional sex. It reduces their chance of contracting HIV, and it means they are more likely to go to school. With our team, we have a range of experience in mental health and education. We're also developing our partnerships with advisors, such as Amazon, supporting our commercial strategy. Our ask today is to meet Penny Mordaunt, Secretary of State for International Development. So in summary, we have a sustainable product here, and through that we can subsidise products internationally, ensuring all girls have the right to education. By 2020, we will have helped 13,000 girls, because at LilyPads, we believe innovation is a 14-year-old girl with access to a sanitary product. Thank you.
It's what seems so amazing and fantastic is this story in a way that you can get women in, say, in the UK to connect with young girls in places like Uganda, as you said. That's an incredible story to tell, isn't it?
It's quite amazing watching people's reactions as we sort of say it. A lot of the time, the girls we're working with in Kenya are quite far away from your imagination, but to say to any woman especially, but anyone, we know their stories, we know what they're doing to remain in education. It's an easy buy-in. In the UK, we are primarily all about comfort, though. As a young woman, I realised coming out here that my mic has to be clipped against the back of my neck because we don't develop things that don't work on a belt. And we're starting to say, well, where are all the women in the room? How do we make sure that they can access a comfortable product, something that's affordable, something that works for them and works for girls internationally?
Fantastic. Thank you so much for coming today. Fantastic. And thank you. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, the final 3-minute pitch. Please get your app ready to make sure you are voting. Let's hear now from Turtle Pack.
Your Royal Highness, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Michael Harkins, founder and CEO of Turtle Pack. Our mission is to make swimming fun, safe, and educational for children. Swimming is magical, and I have a real passion for teaching children an important life skill. I've been a swimmer instructor for over 10 years, where I was the head teacher of the most successful swim school in Scotland. Unfortunately, most swimming aids are restrictive, uncomfortable, and simply lack creativity. Introducing Turtle Pack, a fun swimming aid designed to make learning to swim faster, more efficient, and more enjoyable. Turtle Pack allows children to learn arms free, so they can swim with no restrictions, and provides the correct horizontal body position. The progressional aspect challenges the swimmer to work harder and visually rewards them each time a shell is removed. It's multifunctional too, as removable shells can be used as a kickboard, in pool games, and even as a little drum. But most importantly, with its creative design, Turtle Pack is fun to use. Children will always need to learn to swim. There are almost 8 million children under the age of 9 in the UK. This is our primary market, and our first customers to gain traction and credibility will be parents, with the end users being their children aged 3 to 6. Turtle Pack is patent pending, and we've got an extensive IP portfolio. Since winning the Pitch@Palace competition back in Edinburgh, we've completed our first Kickstarter campaign. We have got a lot of interest all around the world from distributors. We've completed our first production run, and we've even received a personal endorsement from Sir Richard Branson himself. So our ambition is to make Turtle Pack the #1 learn to swim brand in the world. But we need your help. 2019 is going to be a huge year for Turtle Pack, and therefore our ask is twofold. Firstly, we'd like to connect with health clubs such as Virgin Active, Nuffield Health, and David Lloyd, and any other leisure providers. And secondly, We're in the process of becoming investor ready. Therefore, we're looking to engage with anyone who's interested in Turtle Pack from an investment point of view. Turtle Pack, bringing children out of their shell.
Fantastic. So, I mean, does this mean the end of water wings?
Possibly, yeah.
And, but, I mean, what's the real advantage of this over, you know, all the traditional stuff that we're familiar with?
So really, when children wear Turtle Pack, it allows them to be in the correct swim position when in the water. One of the main questions that we get asked, and probably most of the people in the audience are thinking, if the child wears something on their back, is it going to force their face in the water? It doesn't. When the children start off with the product, they'll be in this position in the water, which is a lot better than being in the vertical position, because it develops a lot of bad habits.
They can actually swim, yeah.
And as the child's confidence and coordination improves, they can practice blowing bubbles, put their face in the water, they'll be in the
So especially designed to keep them sort of more like 45 degrees.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Cheers, guys.
Okay. Well, that's the end, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you've enjoyed the evening. Please vote with your app. Make sure you're picking your 3 entrepreneurs that you're voting for. Lastly, just from me, from Mike Butcher, from TechCrunch, please come and talk to us about Tech Vets, and I hope you enjoy the evening. Thanks very much.
Well, I hope you've all enjoyed those incredible pitches. I have to say that the improvement over the period of time that I've been watching them is remarkable. So I would just like to say to all our entrepreneurs this evening, thank you very much indeed for the work and the effort that you have put in to displaying very clearly what it is that you're doing. So thank you all very much indeed. Just before I announce the list of entrepreneurs that have been voted for this evening, I would just like to say thank you to a couple of people that have made this whole thing possible. Without our partners, and they know who they are, we couldn't be able to deliver the excellence that our team can. So thank you very much indeed to all our partners, both business partners and investment partners. We're also supported by an amazing array of, as it were, innovative businesses that help put this all on. And I'm just going to mention the fact that we work with Gravity Road for strategy, design, and brand advice. And I have to say that as we've developed over the years, it's becoming more and more well known. Red 9 for all they do in order to help us get the brand and the message out there. Fieldhouse, who support us in ways in the public relations field that Buckingham Palace can't do. It's not the fact they can't do it, it's the fact that they're slightly conflicted in the way that they'd have to do it, so it's much easier to get somebody like Fieldhouse who are brilliant at it. So thank you very much indeed. Juka, who work on all our videos, and we've updated our videos, I think, as you've probably seen today. Seven Hills for their help with the work that we do in terms of advocating, so our annual review, thank you very much for that. And by the way, you've got the annual review and the Cambridge Judge Business School reports in your bags to take with you this evening. And also Neverbland and Zappa. Zappa are a new partner, and they are the pair of businesses that have helped us with the augmented royalty, which you can go and play with for the rest of the evening at your leisure. And also Blue Stag, who have helped us with the People's Choice Award, which is also very important. Of course, I said right at the very beginning that none of what we are able to do couldn't be made possible without the support and your participation here in the audience. So thank you all for what you are doing and can do to make a material difference to these businesses. And lastly, thank you to our entrepreneurs, again, for all the work that they have put in. I tell them every time that I make no bones about putting them under pressure, and that palaces are red and gold, which is designed to be intimidating. Let me tell you that they have performed, and they've outperformed themselves tonight, and I would just like to say congratulations to all of them. Thank you very much indeed. So, the People's Choice Award tonight goes to On the Tools. And there are 3 winners this evening, and they are 1 vote, effectively, between each of them. So we'll just call them out one at a time. And they are Stasher, Lily Pads, and BioSure. Was it? Even if you had to go first. Ladies and gentlemen, again, thank you. There's lots of networking time now to be had before you all rush off for dinner somewhere. But thank you very much indeed for this evening, coming this evening. We're back again, actually, across at St James's on the 12th of December with the global final, which will showcase what we have seen during the year as we've travelled around the globe. And there are some really interesting ones there. So thank you again, and see you on the 12th of December. Thank you very much. So you're taking that off, are you?